Follow along as we build in this hardcore mode, and we work together, well, separately but together, to build something fun here. We might die. In fact, we probably will. But on top of that wind-up, we're also dealing with various other things around the horn. We start off with Hassan Piker covering Trump is helping Epstein's partner. Hassan Daily uploaded 8 hours ago, so probably while I was asleep and Star Trek was going. Star Trek Lower Decks, one of the better Star Treks of late. But on top of that, I figured I would share with y'all what's going on around the restaurant and whatnot. It's always good to talk and keep up with each other, is it not, friends? Well, I woke up with a serious case of heartburn and not quite knowing what to do, because lots of crap going on around the horn, you know what I mean? Well, I'm torn immensely at the moment because, as it stands, I know I will work with the kids today, and I know that my manager, one of them, as well as some of the workers, will harass a boy trying to get him to break. And I'm tired of the cruelty, y'all. Does that make sense? We're in a very cruel America, and cruelty is the point. So in that sense, that's your armor. Clothe yourself in it. If cruelty is the point, then on the only bright side we've got, we can beat cruelty with the simplest trick that we've all learned from every fucking show since we've been children. If cruelty is the only goal and point, then y'all, it's easy. We just love each other. We care deeply when the system says, hey, fuck that R slur. You look at the system and go, no, fuck you, that R slur's my friend. And now if you want to use the word as effective there, I guess go ahead. But I also, I don't know anymore, y'all. That's the thing that I'm trying to get at. We got to fight the cruelty with kindness. But it's also just so many things are happening that I can't... How do I begin to explain it? Y'all, Elaine Maxwell, who, if you're on this channel watching Minecraft, you might be too young. Elaine Maxwell was the woman who basically sex trafficked over 100 children for Jeffrey Epstein. Because here's the thing, y'all, if a 60-something-plus-year-old white-haired man comes up and, I want to borrow your children for a day, can I babysit your children? Yeah, of course, no, fuck off, no thank you. I would rather leave them in the woods with some meat hung around their neck than, no, we're good, you go away, Jeffrey. Pedo, no pedoing. But then you got a 60-year-old something woman, oh, hey, dear, let me give your kids some hard candy, and can I watch your kids for you? And they just let it happen, because Republicans are inherently stupid. But here's the thing, y'all. The creepy old woman is just as bad, if not worse, than the creepy old man. Why do we give sex pests a pass if they got a badge? Don't do that. Instead, she needs to rot in that fucking prison. But she's not. I think as long as she promises to say no, our dare leader was never in the Epstein files, something he was definitely in. Yeah, of course, as long as she says the dare leader's tune, she doesn't have to stay in prison anymore, and who knows, maybe she'll go live on that wonderful island of theirs with wonderful memories. Or she'll just kick that business going again, because hell, people need money now more than ever. Why not sell your children to Elaine Maxwell? I mean, it's the American way, isn't it? And if it isn't, boy howdy, I'd love to be proven wrong. But then again, America's never been the place of action, have we? The Revolutionary War, if it weren't for our inherent bigotry towards Native Americans, and the French helping us, we would have never beaten England. We would still be speaking proper English. And probably more than half of us would be turfier than we are now. So that's my big thing, y'all. If you're proud of this country, I beg of you, when I do the walk-in here in a few hours, Please, comment, talk to me. Tell me what you have to be proud of in this shithole of a country that's only for fucking bigots and predators. This scam economy that was made from the ground up to be predatory towards the uninformed and uneducated, while yet programming people to be uninformed and uneducated. I mean, they snuck it into your soup. They hid it in your childhood Wheaties. And they asked you to pay for it and you said, yes, daddy. So what I'm saying is, stop it. Just stop it. NPR has been defunded, but the actual station still exists for now. Will it exist by the end of the week, end of the month? Who knows? But right now it's hobbling along on public funding, which is good. And that's very good considering the news is all about how South Park snubbed the president. Oh, all bless the great gods, Trey and whatever Parker. I mean, let's be clear, they hate the homeless. Let's be very clear, they're all cool with euthanasia, and hey, you got an autistic kid, you don't have to. They are completely down and cool with that. So I'm not going to be on here going, hey, y'all, South Park's back, holy shit, they're the greatest fucking show on earth, ah! No, guys, it's still the same cringelord jackasses, and they just became billionaires. Let me pause this on for a minute so I can make sure you hear me clearly. Let me even do a little bit of media magic here, so I can be looking at you eye to eye, face to face. The dudes who do a cartoon show with cutout construction paper just made $3 billion with a B dollars from Paramount, the company that used to be all about, you know, let's work together, let's build a better, more unified America, Star Trek and Doctor Who and all that. Paramount just paid them $1 billion to make fun of the president's tiny dick. Not the genocide, not the, you know, concentration camps, not all the terrible shit. No, we need to make fun of the president's tiny, tiny penis and Jesus in school. Things that are easy target, hey and bye, things that are easy targets to make fun of, because yeah, ha, no shit, Trump has a penis that is likely both tiny and non-functional due to his age and great deterioration. But beyond that, y'all, what I'm saying is, the clowns aren't your kings. The clowns aren't the ones gonna save you. And if the clowns are making $1 billion, what exactly are y'all cheering for? People of less money and financial backing have been saying Trump's a disgusting monster for ages. But South Park does it and suddenly we all need to cheer, right? No, guys, I'm begging you. Much like when Joe Biden said it's okay to continue murdering Middle Easterners because, you know, that's what a Christian nation does, Jack. This is the same fucking energy. Don't be distracted. Don't take the carrot. They just illegalized homelessness. They've just cut back public lands by roughly 100 acres. Y'all, that's more than a few miles. If you get caught camping outdoors, like many of you will because we're about to enter into a state of homelessness as the housing market crashes, but if you get caught camping outdoors, you can now be institutionalized or imprisoned. Hey, by the way, where did all the new prisons just get built? What are those new prisons like, friends? Can you tell me? Because we have been learning new information about them. We call them, or at least the Republicans called them, Alligator Alcatraz. Aren't you looking forward to go shit in a bucket with your migrant brothers and sisters? Considering if you're unhoused, they don't consider you as human or as American as the others. Believe me, I know. So, what are we going to do, friends? Like I said, this is the wind-up. I meant to both get you to think and hopefully... Hello, two viewers. Hope y'all are doing well today. Hopefully you're not in this shithole country. Bye! Yes, go away. Get back to whatever you were doing for fun. I don't blame you. Fun is fun. I just have trouble having fun when we're doing horrible Nazi shit in the U.S. We're doing shit that exactly mirrors what the Nazis were doing during their time in the Third Reich. But by all means, let's ignore it. I mean, y'all, Cartman's back. South Park's doing things. Woo! Aren't you happy? Come on, get happy with me. The unhoused and the mentally handicapped are soon going to be institutionalized, jailed, and possibly murdered off screen. But hey, y'all, we can laugh about it. Ha 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 ha! Jesus in school. Ha ha ha! Yeah, aren't we doing great? Aren't we doing just fan-fucking-tastic? Like I said, y'all, normally I'd be given, hey, here's how we fight this. Here's how you can work within your local community. But y'all, I'm just sort of getting a bit burnt, you know what I mean? I work every other day. Like yesterday was a day off. Y'all can see the little short everything that I accomplished. The kids and I had a lot of fun. Took Ben out for a walk twice. Took some of the okra that was a little bit too, let's call it woodsy. But it had basically gone over the limit of me being able to chaw on it and eat it. So I took it outside for the groundhogs and all that, and they seemed to enjoy it. The cat shrine's doing good. It wasn't knocked over, but before I head out the door, I still need to put food in it. And for the record, I call it the cat shrine because eventually it's going to be decorated and motifed out for cat theme. But mostly what I'm feeding, to my knowledge, is the opossum. Such, hello, random viewer. Are you going to stick around for more than a few seconds? Feel free to drop anything in chat you want other than racial slurs. But the animal shrine's doing good. Like I said, y'all, the way that I stay alive through all this nonsense and enraging bullshit is I focus on the good as best I can, what little things I am doing around to make it better. And y'all, like I said, if you pick up a bit of litter, if you help out at all, that's something. Do something to be of benefit to the world today. Because the money you make for our evil capitalist overlords, that's not doing anything, friends. The jokes you tell with your coworkers, I mean, maybe that uplifts them, but only if you're uplifting them, and by that I don't mean include religious messaging. By that I mean, if you're not uplifting the common cause, hello again, viewer, how are you doing? Gonna stick around for a bit? It's cool if not. But if you're not uplifting the common cause, what are you really doing other than just wasting time? Now, for the record, I'm not saying everything's happy and cheery. In fact, quite the opposite. That the meme of the dog and the house on fire and saying this is fine. Y'all, Savannah, Georgia hit 108 degrees yesterday. I want that to sink in. I mean, the joke when I was a kid used to be, oh, you could cook an egg on the sidewalk. You could cook an egg on the white concrete yesterday. The country is becoming unsurvivable without interference by like housing or having a air conditioner. Having a little fan ain't gonna save you anymore. You'll just drown in your own liquids. Because remember, y'all, anything over 99 degrees wet bulb, and you're literally cooking your brain like that scene out of Silence of the Lambs? It was either Silence of the Lambs or Red Dragon, but where the detective gets his brain eaten by Hannibal Lecter. It's a big old famous scene. It literally made my mother vomit when she first saw it, and it's not a good memory, y'all, but that did always amuse me because y'all, I've seen Pink Flamingos. I've seen Cannibal Holocaust. I've seen Faces of Death. What I'm saying is I was a teenage edgelord too. And things have made me uncomfortable. Like, the Human Centipede was an uncomfortable watch. Hostile. Very much like I'm not into gore porn. But it didn't make me physically ill, you know what I mean? My mother would get physically ill at vomiting and things like that. And, yeah, the first time she saw the brain-eating scene, it made her physically ill. Me, all I thought of was, well, Hannibal, I'd be careful. That's how you get a prion disease. For the record, y'all, if you're going to eat the rich, remember, the fine meats are around the face, the spine, and the back area. Also the flanks. But what you're going to want to avoid is eating the direct spinal fluid, the spine itself, the brainstem, or anything having to do with the neural wetness. By that I mean the brain juices. That's the forbidden juice, y'all. Don't be eating that. You'll get a prion disease. It gives you the shakes like in the Book of Eli mentions. For the record, not Book of the Bible, Book of the Doomsday movie. Had not Wesley Snipes. Give me enough time to go through all my favorite actors, and eventually I'll hit the one that was in it. But either way, good actor, good movie. I'm tired of religious allegory, though, because let's face it, y'all, God, if they existed, abandoned this shithole a long, long, long time ago. If they ever existed. Which, jury's still out on that one. Jury been out for over 100 years, over almost 1,000 years now, eh? Jury's still out on that one. I said, y'all, I wish I could give you good news. Best I can do is say, hey, if we all fight really hard together, our deaths will be entertaining for our corporate overlords. I mean, y'all, this is coming from a place of both frustration and I have tried. Y'all, I have tried so hard. It's just, what can you do? I mean, I do my best to be the light in the darkness as much as I can, which is what I recommend y'all do, which is all we really can do in the end. But, y'all, for the past week, I would say, the restaurant I've been in has been running dark. By that I meant our electrical panel has been hot to the touch, and the electricians finally came, not yesterday, but the day before that when I worked. And they had to shut the power grid down for our restaurant 2 or 3 times to get the electricity to light up. Our fridges still go on and off. In fact, our walk-in fridge will have to be de-thawed again today. I'm bringing in camping lanterns so we can see to go in there and still get meat. And veggies and things like that. But it's like, they don't pay us a living wage. For the past 8 weeks, I would say it's been, I haven't received a paycheck. I pay off my debts, and I get fresh debts. Even now, my phone bill that I'm going to be paying later today has been paid by borrowing money from a predatory lending service. And I will continue to work 40 to 80 hours and still not make enough. And this is not a call out to help me on my Ko-ffee. This is literally just a, y'all, at what point does it become pointless to work? I mean, don't get me wrong, I knew the Trump administration was going to be terrible. I was dreading it from the minute I heard all the dipshits had voted for him, and or he had rigged the election. But I knew it was going to be bad. I never thought it was going to be this bad. And I just don't know how y'all doing. How's the fam going right now? Because it's just, I understand how we got here. I don't understand how we can get out of here. Does that make sense? Because, yeah, y'all, my go-to has always been, well, if worst come to absolute worst, I was raised by a military family. I can go and live in the woods and be just fine being entertained by what the woods will give me for entertainment. Watching wild animals, fishing. I know you want on the couch. Give me a second, son. My little dog, as sweet as he is, wants on the couch, and the big dog doesn't want to help him up there, and I'm trying not to die. Give me just a second, Chief, and I'll let you up on the couch. Yeah, yes, pitter-patter, pitter-patter. Give me a second, little man. You do matter. Alright, let's flip this to where you have a pad to sit on, because my other dog, yes, Chief, getting... There we go. There you go, boy. the other dog has a bad habit of only wanting to stay on the couch, so when it comes to feeding time, if I don't feed her on the couch, the other dogs will eat her food. It's quite sad. So I've tried getting her off the couch. Now I just have begun settling. I'll take one of the couch pads out the middle, set her bowl there, and she'll just look like a little princess eating on the couch. I don't know how I'm kowtowing to a dog while telling y'all to help fight the U.S. government in a non-violent way. But, you know. Y'all forgive me, I'm about to have to go and work for about 8 hours or more. Get offered a break that if I take, I won't be able to be negative $100 in debt. I'll be negative, probably 150, 200. So I can't really take my break, but my bosses have to offer it to me because otherwise they're breaking a law. But then again, what laws really exist in a world where the president pedophile, is pardoning the second most notorious and prolific pedophile and child sex trafficker that we have ever known in the history of mankind. Y'all, Elaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein trafficked more children than the ancient Romans. That they are more prolific pedophiles than anyone throughout all of human history. And she's about to taste free air again. For the record, 3 of their victims that we know have taken their own life and shuffled off this mortal plane due to the unspeakable shit they endured as children. She's about to breathe free air again. Evil wins when good men do nothing. Well, that's a misquote. Evil wins. Period. On a long enough timeline, much like entropy, apparently, evil wins. And that's kind of the message I'm saying we take going forward. For the record, I'm not saying give up. I'm saying we know the score now, folks. You know what we should have done to Elaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein when we caught them? Yeah, you know what I think we should have done to those cunts when we caught them. If you catch a monster, treat them accordingly. Because if we don't, neighbors and friends and comrades, what will happen? They'll what? Rebel against the Capitol, murder 2 police officers, and then spend a year in prison? Oh, but a lot of them reoffended and went back. Uh-huh. What were their offenses? Oh, yeah. 2 of them had child... I don't know what the proper term for the internet is, so I'm just going to say what it is, because honesty is important. They had child sexual abuse material on them. In fact, one of the arguments that got one of them off was that the police weren't there to investigate child porn, they were there to investigate the rebellion on January 6th. So it really wasn't fair that they were using the child porn that was on that guy's computer. I mean, he didn't know that that was what he needed to delete. He just deleted all the shit about QAnon. Y'all, if that sounds utterly fucking ridiculous, I implore you, check out NPR. Check out the articles on it. Most of the January 6thers who have gone back to prison went back for violently murdering their landlords, violently murdering their tenants, violence. Meanwhile, immigrant grandmas are being locked up in alligator Dachau. Meanwhile, the U.S. is, you know, funding Russia as well as Israel. So I'm curious, who's proud to be an American, and more importantly, why? What exactly does this shithole country do for you, my fascist friend? Because if you're proud, please drop in comments as to why. I mean, this started out going down a doom spiral because Mehdi Hassan argued against 20 Nazis, and of the 20 Nazis, one, the magician, was very disappointing. Very, very disappointing. Sir, for the mustache you had and the outfit, the drip you were carrying, sir, did you spend all of your homework and prep time getting ready? Because, my God, you were fashionable, but your points were so stupid. For the record, if you did not see the terrible Jubilee, Hassan covered it in a 2-hour stream. I would highly suggest catching that one, that way you can see all of them. Because mostly it is just fashy boys being fashy boys. But, you know, if it wasn't fascism, would it even be America? Oh, I feel you. That's rough, man. Why you keep digging at America like that? Because our country's always been a fucking joke. It has been a goddamn joke since World War II and before that. But it's only now that we've started to, you know, really show how sad a joke we are. Because, yeah, there was a lot wrong with this country, all slavery, bigotry, homophobia, queerphobia overall in general. Just the lack of representation of any minority group because, you know, that goes against the white Christian Puritan ways. But, y'all for real. We always at least pretended to give a single shit about our children. Even though being a child of the 90s, I can tell you, I was there when they first started to give a shit about kids. And, for the record, they weren't very good at it. I mean, y'all, my mother had us read, as a group, A Child Called It, so that even while I was being put in and out of mental institutions, and having real bad arguments, and, like, trying to figure out the new condition of ADHD at the time, with no knowledge, and just most of the churches saying, well, you just ain't beating the kid enough, you need to beat him more. He'd have a higher respect if he feared the rod. No, that didn't work. All that did was make me angrier. But that's the thing, y'all. Some people break. Others, they just start to break down. And I'm not here to try to cause a breakdown with y'all. Not by any stretch of the imagination. I do truly care about each and every one of my viewers. Anyone that cares to show up. Anyone that cares to be a part of this little experiment we've done. But, y'all, I don't know. Every day I try to come up with something new, something fun. Try to talk about some bullshit that ain't so bad. But I don't know. This is when rest and maintenance becomes a key part of the fight as well. Not a matter of, you know, taking your time and just sitting back, because we can't do that. I'm still going to be picking up trash on my walk-in. Once the alarm goes off, I'm still going to be heading in, so I can have the time to pick up the trash. But I'm just having to come to the understanding that this fight is truly a long, drawn-out, lonely battle. And I see why the Justice League and the Avengers, and I see why all the fantasies give us teams. Because teams make things much easier. Fighting the good fight alone is very difficult. But know this, friends, no matter which side, really truly no matter which side you're on, and really and truly if you're on our side especially, you are not fighting alone. I am here. I am tired. I'm busted ass. I'm a little unbalanced, a little queer if you will, but I'm here. And together, we will outlive this shit. I mean, remember, the President of the United States is going all off on a woman with dual citizenship who hasn't been relevant since the late 90s, early 2000s, and a show that is clinging to relevance like the dying people on the Titanic claimed to driftwood, or like the dying people of Texas clung to their inflatable Trump dolls. It's been long enough, I'm gonna start poking some fun. For the record, it was a horrible tragedy that shouldn't have happened. Hey, Texas, still appreciating those Trump votes? Where was your Fuhrer? What was your... Oh, wait, your Fuhrer was pardoning Elaine Maxwell. Your Fuhrer was worried about his tiny shrimp dick touching children and getting caught for it. Your Fuhrer was too busy to deal with you. And good people of Louisiana, my fellow Georgians, Mississippians, Alabamians, my people, my good southern folks and ladies, we need to take note of what happened to our dear neighbors in Florida and in Texas, because it's going to be happening here very soon, if not this year. The writing's been on the wall for quite a few years now, y'all. Global warming, not a myth, not a hoax. The man-bear pig was real, and he came to us in the form of Trump this time. But the storms are coming. Are you prepared? My idiots in your tiny shrimp dick trucks, are you ready to take those trucks through the city streets with 4 feet of water around you? Because you're going to need to. Your neighbors will soon need you. And you can't just cower in your daddy's mansion. You're going to need to get out there and use that fucking truck you bought for your laws to benefit people. Or, you know, you can do what my fellow Georgians do and do absolutely nothing to benefit anyone and fuck off. That seems to be the American way nowadays. I beg and implore you not to be that way. I beg and implore you to be the difference, to not be the same. I said, y'all, it's the wind-up. Part of it is me trying to get y'all wound up and ready to go. But a whole nother part is me genuinely, real person to real person here saying, dump your AI girlfriend. Ideally, tell your AI girlfriend to go shoot themselves. And go find you a real girlfriend. Or a real boyfriend. It's scary out there, y'all, but it's worth it. Trust, it's when you kiss real lips and not just your phone, it's worth it, y'all. Trust, it's worth it. And that's coming from an ace dude that has no interest in sucking face with nobody. But I can tell you, sucking a human face is a whole lot better than kissing a flat screen like in a Black Mirror episode. And that too can be yours. That dream can be achieved. All it requires, treating them like they're humans. Y'all, like I said, I don't know what to tell you. I wish I had the answers that I could just unravel here like a scroll of the biblical proportions. But that's not life, and life ain't that pretty. A good show, I think, personally. I'm gonna do a deep dive on it eventually for the channel once I get the laptop going and maybe some editing friends. But we'll do a deep dive on The Magicians. It hasn't been gone that long. Hell, they're probably gonna do a revival soon and make a fucking media slop AI video of them. But The Magicians was a good show back in the mid-2000s. And it basically, the entire first season is just a, hey, let go of childish bullshit and rape is bad. That seems to be the entire first season of the show, is just hammering those 2 points home like they're beating on a drum. The rest of the show is basically the lesson behind, oh, well, magic is wonderful, but it's also a terrible thing because every time we fix something with magic, it breaks something else. I mean, Julia, one of the main characters, okay, starts off with a character from a fillery. Basically, picture Narnia, but for adults. A character from fillery who was, they don't know he's from Earth, but Martin Chatwick, victim of child abuse, who basically took the magical land that refused to accept him back because the gods of this land didn't like having an abused child. He didn't want to play anymore. He didn't want to enjoy. He was just sad all the time now. And then he becomes the monster for Season 1 and Season 2. Julia, a character who was denied magic because every time and one timey-wimey things happen in the first season, but every time the time traveler reset their clock because Martin won. Big Baddie beat them. Every time they reset the clock, one of the only common factors was both Quentin and Julia got into Breakbells, the magical Hogwarts-style school. And yes, that is how the show was pitched, by the way. It's Harry Potter, but for adults. J.K. Rowling's bigotry was not known yet. Hindsight, maybe it got known in the middle of the show, because they do a whole don't have heroes. Considering the writer of the fillery stories, which Quentin is obsessed with, is indeed the pedophile that caused the monster Martin Chatwick to happen. Oh, I like it. We'll cover him later, because he doesn't die. He doesn't die. And honestly, I love how the magicians treat that character. But, either way, it's a good analogy of the times. Julia's denied magic, so she learns it off the street. Where little covens basically form of people that, hey, magic works, and sort of like science, it's a weird science, it's a strange chemistry, but there are steps. You do these steps, these outcomes happen. So, these crazed hedge witches, as it were, learn magic the hard way. And Julia burns her fingers several times, starting invisible fires. She goes through a whole arc where she's basically selling sex for magic. And meanwhile, Quentin goes and gets a proper education at Breakbells, college magic. And both of them, Julia becomes a god, Quentin basically saves the world, later on down the line, of course. And in this retelling, or in this tale hashing, what happens and what goes over is kind of part of the whole storyline. Kind of the whole reason to watch. But characters change and grow, plot lines are formed, and it's a deep dive on several dozen topics. I mean, by season 5, they bring about creatures that the Greek gods had invented, a pair, a brother and sister, who were just unstoppable killing machines. And, again, we'll do a deep dive on the show at some point, because eventually, like all YouTube channels, because I don't want to just become a slop tuber, I'll eventually end up trying to cover media literacy where I can, after I gain the white person confidence to talk about it with very little education. Like I said, y'all, it's hard to teach yourself things because I don't just want to be a Quartering or a Chili de Castro or a Hans Wormhat or a enter in your favorite terrible person here. When I tell y'all something, I want to try to speak with the authority I deserve, which at the moment is, I watched it several times, I own it on DVD, I get the general principle, but I'm sure I missed a few fucking things in context. I've also read the books. Books were very different, but, like I said, it's, my entire, millennials, we grew up on, we're gonna have to fight the fascists one day. We grew up on the Hunger Games and Captain Planet and G.I. Joe and the Forever War, and aliens are gonna come down and we're gonna have to fight them too. It's, y'all, our entire hell, Fight Club was one of the most misunderstood movies of its time. It's like, we've been warned about this since the fucking beginning. Did you expect, to quote Angel, the popular 90s creature feature of the week show with a immortal vampire running a law firm? Did you expect him to ring a gong? Did you expect when the final war started there would be trumpets blaring? Y'all, I'm not saying end of times as in the Bible, because it's not. The world has faced far worse than this. The first time the Nazis came, with that big dick energy, yeah, we faced a lot worse. Hey, maybe we should take those lessons and not let it get there. Y'all, Hitler started by getting rid of the gypsies and the mentally handicapped. Sorry to use that word, y'all. Seriously, the Romanov people. I'm of the 90s. I am terribly sorry. I did not mean to slur there. But y'all, he started by going after the Romanovi people. He started by going after the mentally unwell. He started like this administration is going right now. The only thing we got is we got Hitler that also diddles children. Why are we not doing anything but celebrating fucking South Park? Hey, how about instead of just celebrating South Park, we also do a teeny weeny bit of civil disobedience today? How about instead of just, you know, letting the status quo continuing to wash over while we go buy our Labubu slop, we do a little act of anarchy and plant a wild plant today. A wild native species to your area. Or we throw out some propaganda art for the opposite side. Talk about radical kindness as opposed to defeating the evil fucking vermin. Guys, we have to fight. I'm not gonna tell you to fucking, you know, fight. We cannot do it with violence yet, because I cannot express to you how important it is you do not do violence in this country right now, especially if you are of a certain demographic. Hell, it's not racist to warn you fellas. If you're black, don't be violent right now, because the cops are looking for an excuse to shoot your black ass, okay, friend? Please stay alive and stay well. I love you out there, my brothers and sisters. We have to do it peacefully. But like every morning on the wind-up at some point, like every day at some point it comes to, guys, flex those muscles. Tell an ICE agent that they're a fucking disgusting pig today. Do something, anything, to push the needle towards good, even in a small way. Get you some wild seed from an invasive species and feed it to some ducks, because they'll eat it and stomach it. Cut out a bad place, or cut out a predatory plant at its root, so it cannot propagate and hurt the rest of your garden. Treat the world as your garden, because if they've outlawed homelessness, we're gonna need some deep weeds to grow so that people can hide. Y'all, it's a multi-scale fight that we have not been prepared for, because we've been napping and giggling while the fascists have been arming and preparing. Grow wild plants, because people can hide in the plants as well as animals. Grow wild food 200 feet or more away from the road. Why? Because once queers are no longer allowed to shop at the market and only wives with their head coverings on are allowed to shop at the market, you're going to want to find tomatoes and other things that you can eat. When the cops are no longer just, oh my, that officer kind of makes me worried with how they swarm every time I come outside and talk. When they're no longer just making you uncomfortable, but they're actively oppressing you, it's too late for radical change then. The fight has already been lost. Right now is when we need people to be doing things, to take note. To notice the people that were there yesterday that are no longer there today. And to notice the people who are celebrating this. Because eventually, y'all, I mean it, eventually sanity will return. Eventually the fascists will be beaten back again into their hillbilly fucking homes and their rich manners. But they won't go away. And they won't stop. They'll still teach their kids about the Jewish threat, the immigrant threat, the queer threat, and the leftist, the militant left's messaging. They'll still be there telling their children, poisoning those Wheaties. They'll be there until we stop them. And what I'm asking you is much like an Inglorious Bastards Apache Jones. I'm begging of you, my friends. Remember what people stand on now. Because right now, right at this moment, is when it matters what you stand on. Because I'll tell you what, friends, it don't matter that you care about gay rights when there ain't a gay person there to defend. It don't fucking matter if you care about your homosexual brothers and sisters if you only care about them during Pride. saying that you don't allow bigotry and you stand against it while letting a white boss fire a black person just because they don't like them, because they don't like their uppity attitude. Yeah, you're not defending the cause, friend. You're not fighting the good fight. You're kowtowing with flavoring. What I'm saying, folks, is we need a rise to punk. We need a rise of the fuck you, I'm not gonna do it. Fuck you, I won't do what you told me. Fuck you, I won't do what you told me. That's what we need right now. We need not full-on rebellion in the streets, but yeah, that form of rebellion. Because at the end of the day, society's telling you not to care that the kids were hurt. Elaine Maxwell is an innocent woman, after all, another victim of Epstein, right? What does that word even mean anymore? But when the ones trafficking the people and hurting these people and participating are also victims, doesn't that demean the very term itself? Hell, I hate to say it, but I'm actually kind of glad some of these victims are no longer around to see how pathetic our country truly is, and how little we truly care about both freedom and them kids. Because, yeah, I thought America cared, but, y'all, come on now. You can't claim to care about them and then let the molesters go free. You can't claim to give a shit and then just, you know, do nothing. The price of admission is being awake. And unfortunately right now the price of admission is donating to a charity near you. Because yeah, I work with Trump supporters, and yeah, I'm trying to be of the notion, like Bill Barr says, to meet them where they're at, work around them, work with them, all that shit. But it's like, I feel you, Bill, but go sit on your helicopter for a little bit and think about the common man that you used to be. And tell me, Bill, yeah, I'm not very helpful. But if you, and I know Bill Barr didn't vote for Trump, we all know he didn't, but think about it. What has the Trump voter in your life actually done? Well, golly gee, y'all, I'm sorry, I didn't know my Fuhrer was going to do that, golly. Okay, and? Yeah, you supported a fascist. You put a fascist directly in the point of power that he's now exploiting. So, Trump supporters, former Trump supporters, what you gonna do now? Because nothing isn't an option for you at all. I'm sorry, if you supported Trump even to say, well, he's not that bad a guy, I guess. Son, I expect you to be the ones in front of ICE right now saying, we will not bow. I expect you to be on the front lines, because all my fellow creators and myself, we don't want to be here. We don't want to be the fucking target. But you know what? We don't get a fucking option, so we have to fight. For those that supported him, bitch, you put us here, fight with us. Or, much like Pam, I'm never going to forget it, and I'll make sure everyone who knows me never forgets which side of the history you fell on. Because someday, the concentration camps are going to open back up. Someday, you'll face the survivors of the genocide you've been supporting. And the ones who are still here to survive and see it, well, someday you're going to have to look at the victims of your hubris and say, I'm sorry, I didn't know. And let's hope that they're forgiving. Because someday, the power will shift again. And when that day comes, folks, I beg of you, remember these times when the dipshit fascist in your life says, well, we're just not allowed to say anything anymore. And remember how hard some people went and how soft others did. Because again, when that needle turns back, no one's going to be going, well, I mean, I was a proud Trump supporter at the time. Hell, we didn't know what he was doing, to tell the truth. But then as soon as I knew, we started fighting it hard. No, the fuck they didn't. No, the fuck they didn't. And if you're still there, because I might not be, but if you're still there, I want you to look them in the face and make sure they never get to roll back and pretend to be a good person. Because y'all, for the record, well, why you got such beef with the Catholic Church? Because the first time Nazis ran, the Catholic Church said, hey friend, welcome here, this is where the Jews are hiding, go get them. Until the Nazis turned on them. And then suddenly, oh my, how things needed to change. Things needed to change before Trump ever got in. Now that he's there, things don't only need to change. They need to stay fixed this time. Like I said, y'all, that's sort of the sign-off line. I got nothing else new to bring in. Temperatures in the south are now reaching into the hundreds. Real basic shit going on there. People are going to cook alive, especially if you're outdoors without air conditioning. The government now wants you to report the unhoused, the mentally unwell. Shit. Ha! We ain't dying today, bitch. But remember, friends, the resistance doesn't come with fire and fireworks. There's going to be no fanfare. And when it's all said and done, there's not going to be badges and medals. There's just going to be good and bad people. And those who are around to remember which side you were on. And like I said, I would never ask you to commit acts of violence, especially not in this climate, no. But I would ask you to just keep record, keep note. Because people are going to start vanishing, y'all. It's been happening, it's going to continue happening. It's going to be that quiet kid, it's going to be that queer person that you sort of knew and they were fun and they always made you laugh and they were funny. And then some of that color starts to fade. Some of that happiness starts to go away. And then they go away. There'll be tears, but it'll be a quiet exit. Like I said, y'all, I'm begging you, my queer brothers and sisters, don't go into that darkness yet. Exist, if for no other reason, exist out of spite. Exist to prove them wrong. I beg of you. Because, y'all, if all of our queer characters go away, if all of our cool creators and the awesome aunts and the fun uncles go away, what we'd be left with? The creepy old one that wants to predate on your children? The one that the government says is A-OK and definitely you should trust your kids with? Who will be left when all the colors drain from our world? And more importantly, if you're the type of person that wants that, what exactly are you cheering for? What exactly are you asking for? Because if you do nothing right now, well, you'll definitely get what you're asking for. I just don't think you'll want it once you get it. Lots of causes out there, y'all. Go do the things. Go fight the good fight in any way you can. Do it at a risk rating of 0 if you can avoid it. Like and subscribe is appreciated and very free. I would ask for you to go fund the Ko-ffee because, yeah, desperate times, but y'all, don't worry about me. I know how to pull food out of the dirt itself. I know how to find fuel when there is no other fuel. And I always can, if nothing else, exist on pure spite somehow. I'll survive just fine. Go fund public radio. Go fund the Trevor Project. Fuck, go find a queer person near you and give them $5 fucking. Go fund your minimum wage worker. If you see a tip jar, by God, unless that business unless it's Walmart or something of that nature, if you see a tip jar, especially one of those tip jars made from litter, give to those people, y'all. They desperately need tips and they ain't even allowed to ask for it. And after all, isn't that what your God King promised you? No tax on tips. And by the way, while you're out, if you would, pick me up some antacid. I feel the heartburn's gonna be screaming soon. Y'all be good. Be safe. And remember, democracy dies in the dark.
All of a sudden, there's a list again? You're just giving up holds weight, like a Bill Clinton, okay? But also, if you go after someone like Bill Clinton, and he holds the cards here, he knows the secrets, he can then turn around and counter nuke, right? As I've said from the start, it's mutually assured pedophile destruction. So if Trump releases a nuclear ult against someone like Bill Clinton or Bill Gates, then they can turn around and launch it themselves and be like, I saw you at the party. You know what I mean? Also, remember, these guys are very incompetent. Remember that. The Trump administration is incredibly incompetent, which means there's still an opportunity for them to this up. So even if they try, even if they desperately try and try to create like a narrative that will at least like soothe the interests of the masses, the MAGA base, there is a very high likelihood that they can still on the delivery side and make it a larger story. So I'm banking on that, as a matter of fact. I think that will be a major part of this.
Things like this before, but you know, you should focus on Clinton. You should focus on the president of Harvard, the former president of Harvard. You should focus on some of the hedge fund guys. I'll give you a list. These guys lived with Jeffrey Epstein. I sure as hell did. Thank you very much.
I sure as hell didn't live with Jeffrey Epstein. I simply sent him beautiful letters. Beautiful letters. Beautiful letters. We share secrets. Many secrets. Ooh, mystery. Yeah, pro-Fox camera work here. Pro-camera work from Fox here. Trump can't keep up with his lies. Ooh, I love this when he says like dumb shit. Trump, July 15th, a very quick briefing, yeah. Trump, July 25th, no, I would never brief, no.
A very quick briefing. No, I was never briefed.
Did you ask on the UK and FBI review, the findings of that review?
New Trump Epstein photo just dropped. This one featuring James Brown via New York Times. God damn. Is the Trump presidency like the one might power transferred only instead of superpower? It's Alzheimer of the Biden kind. All presidency is like all might power. It's just everyone is Brandonized going forward. Brandon was the original, and he's now transferring the presidential seat with all of the accompanying problems.
This morning, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche has more questions for Jeffrey Epstein's former companion, Ghislaine Maxwell. Do you have anything to say today? Sources told ABC News Maxwell initiated the meeting as she appeals her conviction and tries to get out of a 20-year prison sentence. Her attorney told us she answered every question. Well, we don't want to get into the substance of the questions. There were a lot of questions and we went all day. And she answered every one of them. She never just said, I'm not going to answer, never declined. It's almost unheard of for a convicted sex trafficker to meet with such a high-ranking Justice Department official, and one who used to be the president's top criminal defense attorney.
Wow.
If this meeting were just...
Wow. Isn't that crazy? The president's lawyer is now the Deputy Attorney General, and as the president's lawyer, now the Deputy Attorney General, he is the one in charge of listening to the testimony of Ghislaine Maxwell. No conflict of interest here, folks. Nothing to see here. Yeah. No, this is perfectly reliable. Whatever she says will certainly not absolve Donald Trump because they preordained it. It'll absolve Trump because it's the truth. That's right. It's simply the truth. It's simply the truth that Trump had no involvement whatsoever, and I guess basically what they will say, what I suspect Ghislaine Maxwell will say is, given that there is extensive relationships that are obviously out and about, out in public between Trump and Jeffrey Epstein, the only way out of this that absolves Donald Trump is to, I think, say that Trump stopped talking to Jeffrey Epstein in 2003 and then never had any contact whatsoever and hated Jeffrey Epstein or something. You know what I mean? That's what I think is going to happen here. Like I think she's basically going to work actively to absolve Trump, and a part of that will be to use things that we do know, and then say, see, Trump had no contact whatsoever with Jeffrey Epstein. I do not think that Ghislaine is going to come out and be like, Trump was literally with Jeffrey Epstein. Like, it's just not going to happen, okay? I don't think that she is going to reveal any new information, and I think she is going to perjure herself again and again, but this time she has all of the opportunity to perjure herself. She has every opportunity to lie. She has an incentive to lie. And she is probably going through the readily available information right now to figure out exactly how to lie so that it can't be contradicted by publicly available information. You understand? Now we know, according to Spectator Internet, like, according to New York Post, not the most reliable.
There is a solution to that problem.
Had a document box yesterday and
Complete media blackout. Put her ass in isolation with no, like, the only people she can deal with are her lawyers, and they get to bring her no outside information whatsoever, have her heavily monitored with a camera while she's doing this. Again, it's not a perfect system, but it just, my goals for justice, y'all. My goals for the overall. Because the record, I want all the pedophiles caught left, right, and center. I think the only way we can really deal with this problem is to look at it. Honestly, look at most criminal activity as a mental illness. That's not to give anyone an excuse for what they do, because that's not an excuse. Technically, I'm a bit of a pyro, and every day I make the choice not to set fires. You too can make the choice to not commit bad crimes. That being said, we do need to look at it as a mental condition, because can we all agree it's mental to want to fuck with kids in that way? That's clearly your brain ain't working the way the rest of ours works. And again, that would not give them excuses. That would make it to where we would treat it. We would separate. Again, if you're in a proper country, if you're listed as an alcoholic, the bars will not serve you alcohol. You can still purchase it from like stores and the like, but most people, when you purchase it, will be looking at you going, hey bud, you sure? You sure about this, buddy? But that's because in most places, they don't look at, oh, the money. It's, hey, the community. It behooves us all to not have drunks driving around. Same as, why don't I bitch about having to pay extra money for kids that aren't mine going to school? Well, because it behooves me to not have little dipshits running around. Remember, read a Stephen King book from back in the old King days. You want to know the type of people that think it's fun to take a firework and stick it in a piece of meat and then throw it to a stray dog and light the firework? You want to know what kinds of people yeah, they're fucking psychos, but you want to know what they are? Very, very stupid. Stupidity is a weapon. The right utilize it. The left should be trying to eradicate it, but we're still trying to find the moral way to use the stupids. There's no moral way to use stupid people, y'all. You need to educate people. The only way that what you're doing is moral is if adults with fully functioning brains make their decision to do it. That's why I constantly push do violence level 0. Say mean things to cops. Say hurtful things to the Republicans in your life. Why? It's mean, but it'll let them know where you stand and that you stand against what they're representing. It won't hurt them, it won't hurt you. But, that being said, to commit an act of violence, I could never say that over. Now, me and you standing face to face and we're discussing the issue, yeah, we can discuss violence face to face when I can understand exactly what you're saying and you can understand exactly what I'm saying. But on the internet, absolutely not. Jesus Christ, y'all, I could be doing a bit right now. That's why I'm not. I am very much not doing a bit. America needs your help, people. Speak out against this shit or accept that you are basically the same scum as our president. But, y'all, all I'm asking is that you take note and you pay attention. Eyes open, ears open, and yeah, if you need to speak out against it, say it loud, say it proud, say it once, and then act. But don't act in a way of violence. Do not put yourself at a risk level above a 0. Especially not because some dipshit fry cook on the internet told you to. Y'all, I would never ever want you to commit an act of violence against anyone, because I don't know who you're even looking at. You could be aiming at a drag queen that you just don't know yet. Hell, look at Squid Tips. I love my little brother, but if you did not know him, you would probably not assume he's on the left upon just looking at him the first time. And lots of leftists are like that, y'all. There are a lot more queer bikers than you know. But the thing is it's also part of marketing. You have to be careful so you don't get hurt, and so that none of your allies get hurt. Be safe. Above all else, comrades. Be safe. Because your death will not aid in the resistance. Your death will not send a message. If anything, the Republicans will celebrate your demise. So don't. If it has to be out of spite right now, live out of spite. Don't give them the satisfaction of snuffing out your flame, brothers and sisters. Be strong. That's it. We've seen this enemy before, friends. We've bested this enemy countless times throughout history. Ain't that just pretty? I never thought I'd see the day that we had a circle sun. That's the other thing I would advise, beyond advising y'all. You should. Look for the good. Look for the good people doing the good work. And if you can do nothing else, help them in any way they can. Because the good people are going to need help, y'all. The fight is going to be a lengthy one.
Multiple times, along with other high-profile people. Days before the article was published, Trump denied it.
think this... Oh. This might be where I leave you for now. Not because I want to, sadly. I have to purchase food for my animals, and that requires me to go labor in the capitalist hellscape. So, I'm gonna try to get to a good spot. Oh, somebody be wandering around in my trees. Somebody with a golden helmet. Hit. Sorry, y'all. Y'all, also, if we're gonna fall to fascism, this is just a bit of pride on my part, but can it not be this level of stupid fascism, please? I was told the fascist would at least be pretty and strong. A strong, strong, pretty man to make the trains run on time. This is not the strong man I was promised. This is... not fascism's never good, y'all. That was my very hard attempt at a bit of levity with the terrible, terrible news as it is. Please take your attempts in the comments below. Like I said, y'all, also, and again, I am terribly sorry. The G slur is a fairly new slur, and I am sorry. It is an old slur, but you know what I mean. I mean, I've been singing that word in Hunchback of Notre Dame. I've been fucking up with that one a good bit for my life, and I'm working hard on not, because partially I blame not having that many Romanov people around me. Romanovi? Either way, they deserve better. I should do better. This is my apology right now, and my promise that I will do better. I am very sorry for using the G slur, y'all. Because, like I said, they deserve better. For the record, if you missed it during my rant earlier, I broke down and I said that Hitler had gone after the G-slur people and the mentally unwell. And I should not have said that. I am still not sure if it's Romanovi or Romanov, but they are more or less the native or indigenous people of Eastern Europe. And they were wiped out by the Nazis almost to entirety. They existed in the shadows. They were branded. If you see, for example, the movie that should have been done better with more representation in it of actual people of that type, but the Johnny Depp movie Chocolots. Several movies in the 90s had them as a what's the term? It's like how most movies in the South had at least one or two black characters in them, just as not even as good characters sometimes, just they were there. Tokens, yeah, a lot of movies had them as tokens back in the day. An example, and there are indigenous people of every land, it seems like, that deserve a home. Native Americans, it's not the Turks, it's a different group from the Middle East. The Kurds, the Kurdish people, is that, I hope I'm not doing another slur, but there are people in every place, and I say that we do away with this by giving them either their ancestral land, access to their ancestral land without tariff, tax, or otherwise, or finding a way to undo the sins of the past, the wrongs of the past. Because it's not like we don't have records. It's not like we can't figure things out. We're an intelligent people. We just need more people to be focused on righting wrongs and fixing things rather than gathering more bullshit for our humanness. But hell, then again, we are people in a land of the free. I can't build a human nest. I could, y'all, I could physically go out in the woods here, even our bare-ass woods we got, and build a wooden structure that would keep out the weather and keep me dry, warm, and happy with my pets. And I could build fences proper for them. I could do it all and do it all far enough away from people that I wouldn't be bothering no goddamn body. And the U.S. government would come to my little rinky-dink shelter when one of their drones spots it, rip it down, kill my animals, and drag me back to society. Kicking and screaming, I might add. But, I mean, we live in a society, do we not? And no, for the record, I'm not radically saying conquer your land back, all that. I'm just saying some people don't want to work a 9 to 5, guys. Some people don't even care if we live indoors or not. Genuinely, I want to keep an internet. I want to keep an internet. I want to keep an electrical connection, but I can do that through portable batteries and properly paying one of the evil corporations to have access to you good fine folks. But outside of that, Rebel News Radio, whatever we're going to eventually end up calling this little collective, whatever we end up calling it, I can run it from the back of a spacious van. Happily from the back of a spacious van. But my country is saying, no you can't. It's sort of like when I was a kid and I just wanted to escape into the woods and learn how to live off the land, as Huck Finn and various other characters I had to learn about did. And nope. Nope. What kind of freedom you think we got? You want to be a vagrant? No. Y'all, all I ever wanted was to be Swamp Thing. All I ever wanted was to live in nature, amongst nature. And sometimes I have dreams. In those dreams, I actually get to walk the AT, and I get out to a point of nature, and it's like I see my loved ones just go, be free. And now that dream has slowly started to warp to where it's us escaping a prison camp, and that go be free is followed up by a loud bang and credits rolling. For the record, I'm making reference to V for Vendetta, and I'm making reference to several movies back in the day. I would never ever sign myself off, folks. Not like that. I got you fine, folks. I got my pets. I got Bear Beater. I got Forget-Me-Not. I have ties. Giant ties. keep up the good fight, folks. Stand by for the walk-in stream here in a little while. I gotta take the boy out for a walk. I gotta take my other boy out for a walk. And if she's willing, I need to take baby Alice out for a walk as well. And then after I walk them, I will schedule my stuff up and I will start my hike into work. Again, I very much appreciate everyone who's shown up. There is a Ko-ffee. I don't know if y'all figure out how to link it proper to the channel, but check it out. It's Travis Croy or Hiking Hound Artist Ground. For the record, that isn't spelled out completely. It's just capital H, Hiking Hound, capital A, capital G, Artist Ground. I mean, any funding towards the cause here would be appreciated, but above all else, if you got a few dollars to spare, send it towards the Trevor Project, send it towards NPR, send it towards PBS. Really, grab you a dartboard, grab you some darts, throw it at the dartboard, and whatever cause you hit to, toss it some money their way, because, yeah, y'all, tipping ain't taxed no more. You will not have to pay taxes on your tips. Fun thing to think about, though, most folks who get tips, we don't make over $1,000. Your shit ain't taxed until it hits over, I think, 5,000. So, thanks for that, mind theater cunt. I can't say what I want to say about Trump, so instead I will say, Mama always said if you can't say nothing nice, don't say nothing at all. You good folks, I can say something nice about. I hope you have a wonderful day, and we will see you this afternoon. I get off around 3 o'clock. If I get a ride home, it'll be a long gaming stream. If I do not get a ride home, we will do a streaming of the walk home, and then we will do a stream of the game, but probably a shorter stream. I work again tomorrow, 8 to 3. Something like that. I usually head in earlier so I can pick up the extra hours. But I work tomorrow too. We'll do a walk-in stream then. And we'll do a either ride home or walking home stream after. And we'll just keep on doing this thing, y'all. Upload every day. We're over 119 strong now. I'm happy to have every single one of you in the community. And y'all, I am very, very proud of every single one of y'all's accomplishments, too. Anyone's been up to anything good, post it in the comments below. After all, we share our bitches and our hardships. Why not share our triumphs and our joys as well? And I am very proud of every single one of y'all. If you ain't heard that today, well, now you have. You're a good person. But that ain't a free thing. You gotta earn it. Continue to do the good work. Continue to fight the good fight. America might be down, but she ain't out yet. Keep fighting, folks. Zero threat risk, by the way. Keep fighting in the peaceful way you do. Feed where you can. Argue and point out how stupid fascism is because they are inherently stupid people. And we'll see you later. Be good. And we'll eventually get signing off better. Be good, y'all.